Okay, so for this test, we're gonna show the event script that will be running on virtual SRX number 2 that tracks a loopback address that have been configured in SRX1. And in case this loopback address changes status from up to down, the RPM will report a failure and the RPM will execute a configuration command. So just before demonstrating the test, let's see the configuration from SRX1. Here is the configuration for the loopback address. So the loopback address is 172.31.10.1. Show configuration interface loopback address in SRX2. We have also a loopback address 172.31.10.2. Let's show the route 172.31.10.1, which is the loopback address of SRX1. The loopback address is received via a BGP protocol from SRX1, and it is being routed over IPsec tunnel between SRX2 and SRX1. Let's initiate a ping command from SRX2 to SRX1 and the source the ping command from the loopback address of SRX2. So the ping is working fine. Now let's here see the configuration for the RPM prop. So here there is an RPM prop. The prop name is called virtual SRX1-loopback 0. Test name also called virtual SRX1 loopback 0. It is based on ICMP ping packets. The target IP address is the IP address, loopback IP address of virtual SRX1, and the source of the RPM packets, the ICMP, will be from the local loopback address of virtual SRX2. And there is like 4 prop packets, 4 ICMP packets. Each one is being generated with an interval of 1 second, and then the test interval is 2 seconds. That means that the full test time will be 6 seconds, because it will be 4 multiplied by 1, which is 4 seconds, 4 props. Then I'll be waiting for 2 seconds, then initiate the second test, which is the total test time is 6 seconds. The test will report failures if all the 4 prop packets have been lost. Now let's see the log message being generated of the RPM. Now the RPM should be working fine, should be reporting complete. So now set the ping packets. As here is the ping test complete. Ping test complete, which means complete means the RPM test passed successfully. Here I'm just doing a format, structured format for the log message. For the structured format, it displays the system log messages and displays the attribute. So here's the attribute name of this test complete. Test owner is virtual SRX1 loopback 0. Test name is virtual SRX1 loopback 0 as well. Here is the configuration of the syslog. So here is the file RPM. I'm only logging the daemon info with a structured data. Also, I have another log file called configuration changes. So just to report any configuration changes that will be happening on Visual SRX2. And from here, we will see the configuration changes that have been done by the event script. Show log configuration changes. There is no configuration changes. Okay. Also, from this side, we have configured an event policy. Show configuration, event policies, event options. So here I have two policy. First policy detect if it detects the RPM failure. It's called Visual SRX1 down. If the ping test failed have been detected, event have been detected within 7 seconds of ping test completed. So the failed is detected after a complete, which means the RPM was successfully successfully have a reachability to the loopback of Visual SRX1, and then suddenly a being test failed have been appeared message, and this being test failed should be appearing within 7 seconds or less from the being test complete. Actually each test takes 6 seconds, so that's why I put this within 7 seconds. And the being test failed should have the attribute of test name equal to virtual SRX1 loopback 0 and test owner of virtual SRX1 loopback 0. Using here double $sign, this is just replacing the matching event. So instead of saying being test failed dot test owner, I'm just using the double $sign. Also, the being test failed that will be following the being test complete, the being test complete as well, that is that have been tracked by the being test failed should have the same test name and test owner as the being test failed. So both of them should have the same value, which is equal virtual SRX1 loopback 0. In case this policy have been met, then a configuration of set interface loopback 0 description interface up to down detected will be issued, this configuration, and the log messages interface up to down detected will be shown in the log message. Also, there is another event policy is called virtual SRX1 loopback up that will detect when the interface came back up again. So in case the event being test complete have been observed within 7 seconds of being test failed, which means the first time being test complete have been observed after being test failure, also with the same attribute of virtual SRX1 loopback 0 of test name and test owner, and also the test name and test owner attributes between the being test complete and being test failure should be exactly the same. So a configuration will be done on the loopback interface of virtual SRX2. We'll just change the description from to interface down to up detected. Okay, now let's see. Also, I'm tracking here the event policy in this event log message. Show log event log. Here, because the interface is up right now, so he will saying the virtual SRX up condition doesn't meet. Keep saying interface, the condition have been not met because now the interface is up. Okay, for simplicity, we will just match here on word execute. Once the interface on loopback 1 goes down, the being test failure will be detected and the event script will be executed. So we'll match on word execute. Okay, so no word execute. Now show configuration, interface loopback 0. So the configuration loopback 0 interface down to up detected because I was running this configuration, test before. So now the description down to up. So now the interface is up. We will bring it down. The configuration here, the description should be changed to interface up to down detect. Let's go here. Set interface loopback 0 disable commit. Let's now disable this interface, which means here show route 172.31.10.1 will be removed from the routing table and there is no any reachability. Now let's see show log RPM last 10. Now we will see being test failed. Okay, now let's see also the log show log event. Let's match and execute if there is any execution happen. Okay, so the policy virtual SRX1 loopback 0 down have been executed. Now let's see the configuration in the loopback 0. So configuration loopback 0 interface down, interface up to down have been detected, which means the configuration of the description have been changed. Also to see the log messages that tracks the configuration changes. So log conf. So the configuration have been changed just right now at 12:08:22. So here is as a time where the configuration has been changed, 12 November 23rd, 12:08:22. Let's see the log. Okay, also the log event, the event policy have been matched as 12:08:21. So just like 1 second after detecting the policy, event policy have been executing the script, the configuration have been changed. Also, let's see the log message here. At what time exactly the interface got done? So log interface. So here the interface has been detected to down in 12:08:17, and the changes have been taken place at 12:08:22, which means after 5 seconds of detecting the after issuing the after failing the loopback interface, after 5 seconds SRX2 detect the failure and change the configuration. Okay, now let's do the other side, the other way. Now, let's bring the interface back up. Also, I have the script running in the other side. So when the interface being detected for up, now let's see the root again. So root have been received. Let's see the RPM. So now test complete, test being completed, which means now the RPM have been successfully reaching the loopback of virtual SRX number 1. Let's say the event. Now again at 12:10:56, the policy virtual SRX loopback 0 up event script or event policy have been executed. Let's see the configuration changes. What configuration have been changes? Now the configuration, the loopback interface description, loopback 0 description have been interface down to up detected. Let's see the configuration in the loopback. So now interface down to up detected have been configured under the description of loopback 0. So this is a proof of concept for the event script that runs based on RPM failure or RPM succeed messages, event log messages. And that also proves that the RPM only executed once the interface being detected as down, while it was up, then detected as down, or it was down and then detected as up. So it's only running once when there is a changes happen. Thank you.